discussing divorce today. And there was a point that you said earlier, which I would really like to harp on. See, there are women who have never really had experiences in relationships. Some of them married as virgins. Some of them married directly, even men of God. They married people who they felt like, this guy is tongue speaking, spirit. This is the kind of person, this kind of man I want to be with. And they get into that, and they experience all these kind of misbehaviors with their husbands, such that some of them are dealing with STDs, they're dealing with physical violence, they're dealing with verbal, emotional abuse. They're dealing with all, and they don't know what to do, but they cannot leave because everybody says, stay there because of your children, which, I mean, that's the advice that I would love for everybody to take. But there are some people that just cannot. They will die if they stay. But even though the man doesn't beat you, people underestimate the impact of physical, verbal and emotional abuse. How it actually cuts deep than physical abuse sometimes.
Do you know, in my experience, I would not say that people who find themselves in that situation are willing to leave. In my experience, I find that women who are in that situation are even less likely to leave because they've been so broken, they don't even know that that's an option. And their world has been so warped by the abuse, physical, emotional, verbal, that they feel that there will be nothing outside that toxic relationship. So even when you come and try and tell them that this is not good, what you're going through is bad, you can take a step, they will not listen to you. And because they're adults, you cannot hang them on your shoulder and walk out with them, So most people, that's what emotional abuse does to you. Physical, you can say, he hurt me so bad. See, my hand is broken. You want to break it again? I'm leaving. But emotional is, and sometimes it's not even the screaming and shouting ones. It's the ones that tell you, look at you. Where are you going? You look so depressed. Yeah. My God, you are so disappointing. Please, don't let my children take any part of you. Look at you, you're so dull. So they keep telling you these words, breaking you down every day. So you have no self-worth, you have no form of confidence, and you feel that they will even tell you, even not that I have pity for you, no man will be able to stand you. So you feel that, thank God I'm here, and let me just stay here quietly and accept what I need to accept before other men outside will even treat me worse because I'm such a bad person.
Let me take Shola from Ikorodu. Good morning, Shola, you're live.
Yeah, good morning, Murayo. Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Yes. Good morning.
I like this topic, though I'm not divorced, but even though I would have loved to be one. You see, this topic, I want us to actually balance it because it is easy to always point accusing fingers to the men. Yeah. But when you get down to a full story of a couple, you will know men are also suffering much violence than the women in their marriage.
Yes.
You see, why I said I would have loved to be one is, though, like I say, I'm not divorced, I'm still in the marriage.
Are you mentally? Two
things that make me to continue in this marriage. One, which you have mentioned earlier, as a child of God, the Bible in the book of Matthew 19, God said divorce. That is one of the things that is keeping me in this marriage. Number two is my children, because I don't want my children to suffer. You see, if I've gotten this experience of about divorce or something earlier before this time, maybe I would have divorced. Sure, you understand? So what I'm trying to point out this morning is that, please, we should balance this topic.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there are some attitude of some women that is even worse than the women cheating on their husbands. You will even prefer that the woman should cheat on you than the attitude she's facing. You are facing with her at home.
Absolutely.
Where will you put a man? He is the father and he is the mother at home.
Thank you, Shola.
You see, there are some things.
Thank you so much, Shola, for your input. I have to come, but you're very right, and I hope our producers can actually save your number. We can use you as a resource for this, but we need to talk about the other side, which is really important and critical too. But you're absolutely right. But the reasons why we're probably focusing on women today, because there's always that mentality that men can choose to divorce. Nobody's going to. The society would not judge them because, oh, they are single, they divorced. But women are often judged, and the reason, the focus of the conversation is women who are often judged. How do we help them? Stop judging them, so that because some of them make these decisions based on some issues they cannot actually reconcile with their family. So that is one way we're focusing. But you're right. We must also flip it and see how women also make the marriages hard for their husbands. There was a point I wanted to make. When you talked about, was it you that was saying that like I'm favoring you?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. But you see, it's even harder for divorcees, women who've been divorced, that who try to remarry. It's worse for them because when they marry a new husband, according to one woman's story I read, she said that her own children were like strangers to her husband, to their father, because they have to knock the door before you enter your father's house, the house that you would have actually been in. You are a stranger to your own father's house. You're a stranger to your mother's new husband's house. So
but she married the man inside her husband's house.
No. The second husband. So you leave your first husband. Okay. You marry the second husband.
You move to the
with your children, with maybe your 2 children from the first husband. You go to the second husband. Okay. Now she's saying that it's harder for people like her because these children are strangers in her father's house. Because he has remarried. He has his own children. So you are a stranger in that house. This new house self,
they are
also strangers. So they're in the limbo.
So that's the broken home people talk about. That is the effect on children. Sorry, let me let you go.
So we know it has that effect on children, and that's also because sometimes women feel that if there is no man in their life, they will not be able to raise proper children. We need to also demystify that, break it down for them to understand that if it has happened and you want to prioritize raising your children, you can also do it alone. I know it's difficult. It's not something anybody will wish on anybody. But if you find yourself in that space, some women have chosen that just because they want not to further damage their children by bringing in another dynamic. So I've had people who brought in another dynamic and the man started sleeping with the children, you know. What? So and some women will just say, well, I have a good job. I can take care of them. Let me stay. Even if I want to have a boyfriend outside, he will not come home, you know, just for that sanity. Because when that home is broken and the children either are with the father or with the mother, they need a form of adjustment. Now, infusing so many new people at the same time further confuses them. But there was something I wanted to talk about when you highlighted why you feel sometimes the abused person is stuck in the relationship and doesn't want to go.
Let me take that point after Olajide's call. Good morning, Olajide from Makoka.
Good morning. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Please, I would like you to find some time to address the main issue too. Because me, I'm divorced. I've been divorced for close to like 10 years now. And because of what I've passed through, I'm even finding it hard to get married on again. It's not easy. And you know, most of us are planned that we will never raise our hands on our women. And we will now come to the weak one. You know, you can't expect yourself the women will express themselves. And you are
it's a bit muffled.
Quietly, nobody knows. And, you know, when I added to my brief, I just had to excuse myself. And I'm
so sorry, I can't hear you. I hope our viewers can hear you.
There's so many things that even your time will not permit to explain. You know, if my wife has something, if she's angry, you won't sleep. She will be at your head like this from 9 p.m. till 6, ranting.
I hear.
I'm so sorry, sir. So sorry, Olajide. I didn't hear what you said. I think our producers can call you back. Maybe we can hear you properly so that, because I really want to get your story. It's important we have your story.
I mean, this was talking.
So I wanted to say that, you know, sometimes it goes beyond their logic. When an abuse happens for so long, there's a pattern these abusers use. So they mix pleasure and pain. right? They abuse you today, and tomorrow they apologize. And some persons will abuse you. For instance, physical abuse, they finish beating you now, and the next moment you have sex. You are now beginning to attach that pain to the pleasure that comes afterward. It becomes addictive to the brain. So when you're coming as an outsider and family member to say, why is this man beating you? Why are you still in this relationship? They are so used to the dopamine they get from that experience of pleasure and pain, and they're stuck there. So it takes a lot of therapy to get that person to a point where you realize that this is not who I want to be. Rewiring that happens. So it becomes addictive. When they are telling you, hey, he will apologize now. He did not mean it. They are making excuses for this abuser. Even the emotional one you talked about is the same thing. Yeah. So today they bring you down. You are worthless. Nobody can have you. This, that. Tomorrow they show you. So they use warm and cold. They give you that pain, and then they flash. They flash the excitement and love just a little. So in psychology, they call it love bombing. If you are dealing with a narcissist, for instance, they love bomb you. They love, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then they're
always the ones, yes.
So they are very forceful in the love. And before you know it, before you are getting used to the love, oh, my husband, my wife, they withdraw it. Yeah. Then they just flash it once in a while and withdraw it. Yeah. So you are constantly waiting to see that flash. When can this flash come?
Coach BC in the building. You've dropped it.
It's painful. And I know I've seen a lot of people around me who have gone through this. It's not what you just preach to them to say, be going. They won't get it. They won't understand it.
Because the brain has been formed, I mean, has accepted that way. So you need to decode or recode or uncode for it to be able to get normal. Let me take this call from Ola is calling from Egbeda. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am Ola from Egbeda.
Yes, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Yes, thank you very much. Incidentally, it's my first time on this program.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, this topic we are treating today, I think it's a very cogent point. And I think what we need to do is to go to our religious places and our traditional institutions, because this issue had a lot to do with these two institutions, the religious institutions, both the two religions, and then our traditional institutions. The both religions frown at this divorce, and our traditional institutions too frown at it. And some men are taking advantage of this, and the other way to the women who are taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
The more our churches, our mosques are frowning at divorce, the more problem we have, especially for the women. I know of about 2 ladies who died in the process. They were in the process, and they were holding on because of their position in the church. In fact, some of them are marriage coaches, and their marriage was not working too, and they had to hold on. Eventually, one of them was sick in the house. The husband left her at home before he saw the woman had died. By the time she confided in other ministers, they were crying for her. Eventually, she died in the process, and this is going on everywhere. Including with our men too. Like some men have said earlier, there are men going through physical and emotional abuse.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ola. I mean, these are some deep conversations we're having this morning.
Yes.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.